As we move over to the defensive side, what differences do you think we'll see from John Butler's defense compared to what we had last year?
That's a good question. I think there'll be different wrinkles. To me, in DB, you can, when we were watching kind of the same stuff, probably a few more things in the back end will be a little different, in my opinion, just because we have newer coaches, right? So I think there'll be some tweaks. I think when you look at it from afar, you're going to see, okay, there's 3 down linemen, your jack, and then your linebackers and your 5 guys in the secondary. But who's filling that Isaac Gifford kind of spot? I think that will be handled a little differently because I think Isaac got put in a bad spot last year, in my opinion. I just think
he was hurt.
He was asked to do a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just he's not a deep safety type of player. He's a guy that needs to be down in the hole, he needs to be at the pile.
Yep.
Playing a lot of line of scrimmage. But I think majority on the back end with Coach Butler being a secondary guy predominantly. I think you'll see some tweaks there foremost.
Biggest difference from what Tony White did?
Yeah, I think the versatility on the back end, and they'll be a lot more aggressive. I think.
Especially on third down.
Coach Butler, Coach Snow, I think they like pressure. They like a variety of looks. They use the same terms all offseason about affecting the quarterback and not necessarily with getting a guy to the ground, just the pre-snap looks.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think, the cross-training of a guy being able to play like a post safety or a rover or, the strong, just the versatility within the bodies that they can play will allow them to mix and match because I don't know how many natural pass rushers they have. So when you don't, I think a lot of it is predicated on looks and disguise.
A lot of what we see from college, and you can watch this with the NFL draft, a lot of those outside guys aren't getting a lot of sacks because the inside guys are. Could you see Keona Davis maybe having some numbers like that?
I mean, Keona Davis in Nwaneri are like the guys that I think you look at right away that can be like the 6 to 8 sack type guys on this defense. I think Riley Van Poppel in the interior has the ability. Judy has been a good pass rusher for what they've asked him to do. But they lose a lot there. I mean, I think we all are aware. Jamari Butler, when he was at his peak, was really good last year. Nash Hutmacher and Ty Robinson played excellent at times. So
I think a healthy Cam Lenhart will help too.
Yeah, we haven't seen that Cam Lenhart for a while.
Since freshman year.
That version where you're like, wow, this guy could be an all-conference type player.
So guys that are coming back, we mentioned some of them, but Riley Van Poppel, big fan or?
Yeah, big fan. Huge fan. I mean, I stood next to his old man at practice on Thursday.
Oh, yeah?
I mean,
Todd was a big guy.
Yeah. I'm like,
he had like 500.
I know. I was gonna say,
You're like, I had your baseball.
I was like, geez, good gene pool. I like him a lot. I think his ability to kind of sit back, not be forced into. I mean, he played so well as a freshman, and that's just so rare to see guys come in. Sean, did he come in at spring as a freshman?
Yes.
He did. I can't remember, but just being able to, play that early as a freshman, successful. Sitting back, seeing how learn from Ty, but throwing in that mix, I think my expectations are very, very high for Riley Van Poppel, and he's wearing that 44, so he has to represent.
What about Jalen George, a guy we didn't see during the spring because of injuries?
Yeah, I think injuries have kind of held him back, and he was a guy that I was interested in seeing. But I mean, and Jay can speak to this as well. I think the thing with D-line is being a technician, right? Natural ability is it's great. It's kind of what you want, but I mean, being a good technician, head down, you get down, use your hands, get to the V of the neck. You don't feel any pressure, don't get vertical. Right. When you start to do all those little things robotically, you can really start to play as a defense because what happens is you make the plays without making the plays. You occupy, you hit your fits. Man, everybody else is just so free. So I think those guys understanding the day-to-day rigor of just being consistent. Just doing the same thing every day, where you almost get bored with it. That's where you want those guys.
Well, you have to. You have to be. D-line is at this level, but the biggest thing, I don't know if I say it all the time, is just the eye discipline.
Yep.
Eye discipline is so important in all sports, but at D-line, it's reading. I mean, you can read the lean of a tackle or a tight end.
He's there for a reason.
Lean and split, reading splits. Hi hat. You see, down hi hat, or just little things that you pick up as you get older, and you learn as you progress throughout the season. Just entrusting that, but then the technique has to come as well. You got to have good hands. You have to have good pad level. You have to have good feet. playing with the right hand in certain gap
Did
situations.
you see some of those drills?
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
it's
almost.
important.
I mean, they're putting you in phase with the most almost remedial of drills, and I mean, just learning to lock with an inside arm.
That's Saban's drill.
Learning to lock with your
If you have,
inside arm.
right,
or-
if you have inside gap, you're a DN, you're in a head up 6 technique,
Yeah.
and you got that C gap, like your inside hand, whatever, if you're on the left or right,
Yeah.
that's gonna be very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're, outside contain and you got to have that D gap or C gap
and it's the
responsibility.
difference
it's
between
just-
like a full gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Doesn't
just
seem like much,
Right.
but it's the difference
it's
between
a crease.
hole
I mean,
and not.
And a yard could be just setting that tackle or squeezing that gap down,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're a 3 or, just splitting a double, playing the double right and making sure that guard has to stay on you just a second longer.
Yeah.
Or not even a second, a half a second longer, so that linebacker can get over top and scrape and go make a play. All those things, and it doesn't happen. Like, you have to drill and drill and drill, and that's why I always hated bye weeks in college, because I needed the rep. I got my eyes and my technique. Like, I needed the reps
Yeah.
to do it. It just doesn't happen. It ain't for the faint of heart in there. So it's not like you can just do that stuff in your apartment by yourself, right? Like, you got to do it the right way.
Dude,
so.
Malik Collins is like on, what is it, 8th, 9th year now?
Oh, he's a technician.
Just being a technician.
He's a
Being a
technician.
technician.
Incredible.
Works his
technician.
tail off.
Yeah, yeah. Sean, let's go over to the linebackers. A lot of newcomers there in terms of, what do you think about the jack? Let's start off with that position. Who do you think wins that spot?
Well,
Starting
Deshaun McCullough, I think you got to obviously start there. I mean, just with his experience and his background and his versatility. I mean, a guy that's almost could play at all 3 levels of the defense. He was a high dollar acquisition.
Sure.
When you look at the money they spent on NIL and the guys they signed, McCullough was right up there with any of them. And then, McGahee too. I mean,
So you think McGahee affects
I think
the
you're going to
passer
see
more?
both those guys be on the field together. I mean, Matt Rule said that a couple times. It's like, I want our best guys on the field at one time. So I don't know if they're just married to having just one of those guys out there. You could see, and Damon could probably chime in more on this, like, you could see probably situations where both those guys are out there.
I agree.
Yeah. So then you have Buddha, probably middle linebacker.
Yeah, I think your insides are probably better than we maybe think. If with you got Trent, you've got Javen Wright, you've got Bowers, so you have a couple of hammers. Then you have the cheat code in Javen Wright that has seen it. You talk about a guy that can read hand placement
Yep.
and pressure of the knuckles and tight splits. Like, Buddha's definitely that guy. And then you get probably the best pass rusher of the bunch in Shavers. Let that guy do what he does. He can flat out rush the passer. So
Yeah.
you probably ought to put him in situations where he's bringing some pressure.
Yeah. He's a happy guy, too.
Yeah.
Listen to him talk. When he was talking about Watson Trent telling him where to go, he was so happy to have that guy kind of helping him a little bit. Let's go to defensive backs, where obviously there was some struggles last year. We had injuries and you had a change of the coach and everything. Your feel for the DBs?
A lot of similar faces back there that we saw last year. Obviously, Singleton be back there. Some new guys. I mean, some guys have present some opportunities. Where does Bly Hill fit in all this? I mean, another guy you watch out there, you're like, man, that's
a long fella.
different.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
But it's just that the guys that played last year, can they improve? Can they involve in this, you want to call it so, the quote-unquote new system, new scheme with Coach Butler? Who are the young guys, the younger guys behind there? I know another guy that probably wears 28 that DB is familiar with, that's going to fit rather well into this battle of the secondary, but a lot of familiarity, but yet a lot of guys who are young and hungry that are going to play. I mean, you had the kid from, you're 37 from Omaha North, right?
Yeah.
And you throw into that, Donovan Jones.
And
So
we saw those next 3
Yep.
safeties, right?
Yep.
Where it was Rhett was a little dinged up, so it's Guthrie, it's Caleb, and for those guys to be versatile. I mean, one of the reasons that I think Caleb wanted to scrimmage on Saturday was, can you play the strong safety? Right? You haven't been in the box in a while, and you have to show the ability to play that. And then you get the good leadership of guys like Buford, and you finally have a healthy Hartzog.
Yep.
Where I've never really cheered so hard for anyone as much as I'm cheering for Hartzog, just because he's been off maligned. I think he's clearly the leader of that bunch. I get Keese is Buford's the vocal one. Singleton doesn't say boo, but he's probably the most gifted. But Hartzog is the guy that I'm hoping really has a big year because he can play in the nickel now. He's got a lot more flexibility.
Those guys from Meat, Louisiana, they don't need to talk. They don't have to talk.
If you get him to say 2 sentences,
Yeah.
it's
I
tell you what, though,
possible,
the
because he
coaches-
is very conscious of that
I will say the
accent.
staff does like Andrew Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he
But
can
that-
play. Not,
yeah.
no,
Oh, those are your
he-
starters at corner?
Well,
Is it
Sierra
right?
Wright.
I
Yeah,
think
and
you
Sierra,
go,
we
I think
create-
you
yeah.
go with Wright and Marshall.
Marshall are your starters at corner.
I do.
And then your starters at safety are Singleton,
Buford,
and
Hartzog.
then who? And he's your nickel
Yeah.
guy.
Who's the rover?
So the rover in that of that trio would be Singleton.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And he's
with that
better
size.
by the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
he'll get down into the box.
Yeah.
And they must like Ramirez Stewart. They mention him a lot. They have to like him.
Yeah,
They
we'll
mention him
see.
so much. Or they trying to fire him up. Because I know coaches do both things. They'll say your name sometimes.
Well,
They want you to.
Is it Ramir or is it like a Segrin Ramir?
But I mean, that has to be the strongest part of the defense, though. Looking at from the whole, I mean, the
Yeah.
depth and the numbers at secondary.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean Branch is going to fit in there.
Yeah.
And we mentioned him, but watching Jeremiah Charles run the obstacle course thing they had, my goodness.
So
he must run. He
Charles again is another one of those
sub
guys
7.
that wanted to scrimmage with Bly Hill
Yeah.
because I think when those guys lobby to do that, they want you to know that they're knocking on the door.
Yeah, his short shot, I guarantee, is like about four flat.
He's and
His change
remember,
of direction.
He's
He's
a
a good
50-foot
athlete.
triple jumper.
we
He's a great
forget
athlete.
He played early.
Yeah.
He's not
He
void of-
started the UCLA.
got
He's
picked
not
on a
void
little
of
bit.
talent,
Yeah.
right? They hit
Yeah.
the little skinny on him and he got pulled, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Twitchy.
he's not. He's
Forgot
yeah. He's
about
not.
Amari
twitchy.
Sanders too. I mean,
Yep, and Amari
Yeah.
Sanders, another one.
Long.
I got a list of 12 guys.
I was just saying, like
It's a
that's
deep
I mean,
room. 12
the
guys
depth
here.
there with the guys. I
It's
mean,
a deep room.
It's
The corners. I think they can play 6.